know who we are, but do you know what it takes to get there?
We'll take a look into seeing what it takes to keep our crew, team, cars and drivers at the top of their game. This is what it takes with Team 18. Hey guys, so on this episode of What It Takes here at Team 18, we're going to come over and have a quick chat to George. So George is head of fabrication here at Team 18. How long have you been at this team? I think is very interesting.
Yeah, the full time, so this is our 5th year.
Oh, great. And what changes, I guess, have you seen? The obvious one, going from 1 to 2, but how has that changed your role within the team as well?
It certainly tripled my workload. There's no doubt about it. You know, 2 cars sort of generally everything goes up by 3s.
Yeah.
So that's probably the main thing. You know, we've put in some reasonable hours from Christmas until now to get you know, the cars and the transporters and all the pit equipment all up to speed for 2 cars.
And you've been in the category for a long time. Talk us through. Tell us a bit about some of the drivers you've worked with, how the category's changed, even working on the cars, how different they are now.
Some of the drivers would have been Colin Bond, Peter Brock. Peter Brock was the first driver that I went to a race with. Alan Moffat, Jackie Hicks came out, and Alan Moffat and Jackie Hicks won Bathurst in 1977, or 1-2. Mark Scaife, Craig Lowndes, Greg Murphy, lots of good guys.
Plenty of good stories. I'm sure there's some good stories.
Yeah, there's a few stories buried in that lot,
Yeah, for sure. And what about the category? I mean, how is that? Working on the cars must be so different now as well. The teams, I assume, are a lot bigger than they used to be.
Certainly, yes. That's one of the big things that I recall is that back in the 70s, you know, it was a pretty big deal to have a full-time mechanic. Mm-hmm. So it meant that you needed to become a jack of all trades. So you need to be able to build roll cages and chassis and do machining and do fabrication. And obviously my role in the early days was mechanic, but I learnt the fabrication side, the machining side, and that put me in good step for ultimately sort of running my own business and then sort of contracting to teams like Charlie's here at Team 18 and being a bit of a jack of all trades.
Throughout this entire series that we're doing, I think people are going to start to realise just how much work goes on between the events that we probably, you know, we don't get to show the fans. So just talk us through a little bit from when a car comes back, particularly, I mean, for me at Adelaide, we obviously had the big damage there. So, you know, you played a huge role in turning my car around and getting it done. So can you just talk us through maybe a little bit of what your role is after a race weekend, and particularly with things like that?
At the race weekend, you do the best you can with what you've got to get the car back out on the track, which is what we did. Then you get back to the workshop and you know that there's areas that you need to readdress and make, you know, sort of brand new. So in this case, it was front chassis rails and rear suspension parts on the chassis that needed some attention. So there was probably about 3 days work there, solid days to sort of get for myself to get the car back ready for the mechanics to jump on and start their preparation for Grand Prix.
Yeah, brilliant. I think, I mean, from us as drivers, obviously we massively appreciate what goes on, but it's something that I think people don't understand or appreciate is just the short turnarounds as well, because, I mean, we're lucky that it was the Grand Prix was the next event, so it's a local event for us, but the pressure and the turnarounds are quite massive, so obviously I think you work the weekend as well. Correct. So yeah, I just want to, massive thank you. I think all the guys here do a huge job, so we won't hold you up too long. These episodes, obviously we jump in and meet as many people at the team as we can, but this is George, everyone. So if you saw the crash in Adelaide, he's the guy who, once we got it back here, fixed up all the metal fabrication, everything, got the parts back to the boys, and let them rebuild the car. So cheers, mate. Thank you.
Good on you.
Hey everyone, Scotty and I are on the hunt for some new team members, and we would love you guys to join.
Jump on and join our Team 18 Club membership program. We've got something to suit your budget, from kids to VIPs.
Now all the members go into a draw to win the chance of hopping in a Team 18 Commodore with either Scott or myself, with a hot lap, paddock passes to an event of your choice, and also a trendy new Pulsar watch from our friends at Pulsar. And if you want to support me in the DEWALT Racing 20, jump online to dewaltracing.com.au. And if you want to be a Frosty fan, come to irwinracing.com.au. Terms and conditions will apply.